Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Jay and welcome to the channel and welcome to Jurassic World Evolution 2 and our first Sandbox build. So as you can tell, it's not a speed build, it's in fact a fully completed park, a version of Jurassic Park San Diego. This is not Chaos Theory or anything, this is in fact a full Sandbox build. And in probably my campaign, I think I talked about maybe doing some Chaos Theory videos, but those videos did take a long time. Those levels did take quite a while for me to like go through and stuff, and I didn't think it was super entertaining to watch. So I thought we'll start just by diving into Sandbox. I finished all the Chaos Theory modes now. They were loads of fun, I really enjoyed them. And here we are in our first Sandbox build, which I just did as a test, kind of just to have some fun, see what we can do with all the Sandbox mechanics, and really, I don't know, get a good feel for what this is going to be like. So, without any further ado, let's get into it. I just gotta say, the draw distance on the shadows is kind of awful, so we're gonna stay relatively close to the ground. But yeah, so I try to keep it quite symmetrical at the start. See, you enter through here, you have got this diamond motif that goes on, and I try to maintain that kind of somewhat throughout the park. Some toilets here by the entrance, and as you go down you have the control center here, which is actually kind of like, I think meant to be a slightly more modernized version of the visitor center. Quite a bit slightly, like it's meant to fit into the Lost World kind of era, but not the Jurassic Park era. And I think it looks really good as a visitor center. I really like how that looks. And I just had that as your first thing you do as you come in. You go straight to the visitor center. There's a couple ponds here. I'm just making use of some of the... I will like using the temperate rocks instead of the desert rocks in the water, because they've got like moss on them. I think it looks really nice. And yeah, I really like how that looks. I'm just going to mute that briefly. But yeah, as we go forward here, you can see now this is our kind of main street area, relatively small. And I have started building a second Sandbox build, and we do a lot more with the main street in that one. So we'll look forward to that one to see a really much more developed kind of main street and shopping area and stuff. So this one's pretty chill. But as we go forward, you of course have the San Diego Arena, which is just a fantastic structure that we get in the game for this map only. Of course, it would be great if we could integrate this into other maps, maybe have different versions of it. I would love a Jurassic World kind of modernized version of that. That'd be cool. Or, you know, different versions of this. There's more kind of attractions would be fun in the game, I think. But yeah, you can go in here, and right now there's no dinosaurs in here, but you'll see them in a bit. So our first two paddocks, we have one on the left here and one on the right. On the right one here, I completely forgot what we have. We have Coelophysis. So I wanted to have a look at some of the newer dinosaurs. Here we do have our Coelophysis, looking beautiful. We've got two skins in here. One with a slightly more saturated green, and the other one is a slightly less saturated green, or a slightly more yellowy green, so to speak. Yeah, you can see that here, if he would get out of the shadows. But yeah, lovely new dinosaur that we have, of course. Brand new to Jurassic World Evolution 2. And dinosaur I particularly enjoy because it's one of those where feathers not being on the dinosaur kind of makes sense, because Coelophysis was such an early dinosaur, like right the Triassic, late Triassic, one of the first dinosaurs to really, you know, get quite specialized and have this kind of traditional dinosaurian form. It's really cool. I really like how it looks. Of course, it could have had feathers, but I don't mind at all how it looks in the game. I think it looks fantastic. Love that we have non-pronated hands. Those hands look really fantastic. Patterning is great, and yeah, just really like how they look. Moving over to the left over here, we have another paddock with some Pachyrhinosaurus. Easily my new favorite Ceratopsian. Looking fantastic, as always. Got two patterns here, both with the same base skin but different colored frills, one with a bright purple frill and the other one with a much more muted blue frill. I always think the pattern up here looks a little bit like a fried egg, but you know, that's all good. Oh, the two back there did their social animation, which is very cute. But yeah, love how these look, very cute. Love this huge nasal kind of like boss, I believe they're called, or like bump. They're not horns by any means. Oh, and I think these two are gonna like... Oh, that's so cute. Just like rubbing up against each other. One of my favorite parts of this game is that there's so much more of the animal socializing behavior, and I think that's really nice. Going further to the left here, we got a Suchomimus habitat with a couple of Suchomimuses. You may notice none of them have the icons that show that they need to be visited by a ranger. That's because I turned off the icons because they just were a little bit annoying. But yeah, really gorgeous Gallimimus. Of course, one of my favorites in the past game, and enjoy it just as much here. The hands once again in this lovely neutral position. Just looks fantastic, and looks even more realistic than it did before, which is really nice. Here's the other one. It's just a kind of a darker version of the base skin, so I quite like that. Further to the left here, while we're here, let's check this out. It's the only single dome aviary I've ever made. And when it comes to both the aviaries and the lagoons, then really not many creatures that can live in the single dome, and even then you'll be pushing it. Most will need at least 2 units or 3 units, even the smaller ones. But speaking of smaller ones, this of course can only really house the Dimorphodon comfortably. Maybe the Tapejara, but really only the Dimorphodon seem to fit from what I've seen. They all look pretty cool. I don't really like the Dimorphodon design in Jurassic World, the movie, but the game version does seem a little bit nicer. I wish they had the, you know, the pycnofibers or the fluff that they would have had in real life, just on the body. Even in the movies, if I'm not mistaken, there was some like fuzziness on them, but I might be wrong on that. But yeah, otherwise they look alright. I'm still happy to have them, and it fills up this area quite nicely with this little dome. Was that the Gallimimus? Yes, it was. Okay, so moving back over to the right, past the Coelophysis, we have another herbivore habitat with a couple of Nigerosaurus, or as Dr. Wu says it in the game, the Nigerosaurus. I don't know if that's how it's meant to be pronounced, but he says it all fancy, so I don't know, that might be how it's said. I think this was always another favorite of mine from the past game. I think they're so adorable, really chunky and cute, just love, like long hippos basically, and I love how they look. Just really nice to have them in this game too. And it's nice that we have other sauropods in this kind of like size class with the Amargasaurus now. But if I'm not mistaken, there's some other small herbivores in here. Yeah, there we go. So there's some Sauropelta in here. The Nodosaurids were some of my favorites in the past game. I say that about all the animals so far. I think maybe that's why I put them in this. But yeah, I really like the Nodosaurus because if you look at them from above especially, you can really appreciate the detail work that's been put into all these individual scoots and like the scalation and stuff. This one always looks super cute to me, Sauropelta. And then there's, I think of the Nodosaurus, Polacanthus might be my least favorite, but Sauropelta is quite high up there. Nodosaurus itself might be my most favorite. I don't know if I have it in this park, I cannot remember for the life of me, but yeah. So that's for this section of the park kind of complete, and let's have a look over here at the arena, because the arena actually connects up to our biggest habitat, this huge habitat at the back here, which has loads of different dinosaurs. We've got some sauropods, we've got some small animals, we even have a little truck tour, so it's a really big one. Let's have a look through. We also have lots of viewing galleries to look through them too, so let's show the view of this one, which is really nice. You can see our sauropods, our Dreadnoughtus over there in the back. There's another one. Oh gosh, the shadows are so weird. I know other people have been having this issue too, so really not sure if that's something they can like fix in the future. I hope they can. We also have lots of Gallimimus in here. Back there you can just about see some of our Hadrosaurs. We have a lot of Titans in here. And there's some Ceratopsids as well. We have some Staractosaurus somewhere in the back. I think I saw one. Yep, there they are, right at the back over there. Okay, so while we're here, let's have a look inside. You can see this is the route where the truck tour goes through, and you can see we have little photo points as well. The Dreadnoughtus looks to be a bit different from how it was in the previous game. It's not my favorite of the sauropods, primarily because I think the head looks a bit odd. I'm not sure what it is. It's just kind of like a bit of a weird shape. Regardless, I think the posture looks a lot better than the previous game. Its head is a bit lower, I think. Again, I'm not 100% sure. But of course, generally speaking, people think sauropods would have had their heads and necks at a more of like a 45-degree angle. Which I think actually looks quite cool design-wise. This is still a bit high, but I like how it looks nonetheless. They still got really cool patterns. It's a bit in the shadows now, so you can't really tell, but they do have quite nice patterns. We also have loads of Gallimimus. Half of them are this really bright green color, and the other half are like more muted. To again kind of show that kind of dimorphism between species. Oh, we have an entirely other herbivore here, Homalocephali. all by himself, which is really odd because we have, if I'm not mistaken, loads of Homalocephali. Yeah, they're all over here, and I don't know how this one ended up all by his lonesome. Oh, poor little guy. Hope he finds his buddies in a bit. If I'm not mistaken, the Staractosaurus were here somewhere? Where are they? There they are. So, Staractosaurus, another favorite of mine. I keep saying that, but yeah, they basically are. Another Ceratopsid I really like. A lot of Ceratopsids have been given a lot more frill markings this time around. That Staractosaurus is in a tree. But they've been given a lot more markings in frill, and with the Staractosaurus, I'm not actually the biggest fan of it. I quite like the base patterning for the Staractosaurus without the pattern overlaid here. So I might, in the future, default to just the base coloring without the pattern. Because sometimes, like, I think when it comes to patterns on the frill, if you have them as just circular like this, it kind of, like, looks a little bit odd to me. But, yeah, I don't know, that's entirely subjective, of course. You may think otherwise, and that's absolutely fine. So, but otherwise, really lovely Staractosaurus model. The skin itself is really beautiful. It reminds me a lot of, like, I had a Staractosaurus, like, toy when I was a kid. Had really similar markings to that, and that's what that reminds me of. So maybe it's a little bit of nostalgia talking too. And yeah, some of the lower Titan have come over to this side too, so we can have a look at them. One of the most vivid of the Hadrosaurs, they are all in just the worst position in the shadows. Let's try this one. A little bit better. But they've always been one of the most vivid colored Hadrosaurs in the past game with a really beautiful crest, and this coloration I think looks really nice. Lots of contrast there. Guess what more shopping amenities? Well, I'm not going to give them any. I've given them plenty. Also, I've run out of space, so... Either way, this is actually a 5-star park. I managed to optimize it regardless of the fact that it's purely Sandbox, so... Usually my Sandbox park, I just make them with the purpose of looking nice, and they never end up actually being good parks. But this one has actually been pretty decent, which is nice. Here I mixed a lot of the different types of rocks together to create a rocky, like, pond area. I think it works out pretty well. Have I shown you all the dinosaurs in here? I think I have. Gosh, look at all these Gallimimuses in this corner here. I love their, like, herding behavior. It's so cool just watching them all go together. Very cool. These are the rest of the Homalocephali. Very tiny. Especially compared to the Dreadnoughtus that's approaching. That is a great indication of just how vastly different. Like, the head of the Homalocephali is the same size as one of the toes on the Dreadnoughtus. Gosh, if I was a Homalocephali, I wouldn't be... Oh my god. Yeah, no, if this had, like, physics working or whatever, the that Homalocephali would have been just yeeted into oblivion. Apologize for using the word yeet. I know it's not exactly 2015 anymore. But yeah, let's keep going. So we have a hotel area over here. I think I went a bit overboard with the hotel area. It just now just looks like a bunch of huts put together. But there's some decoration, you know, some of the tables and stuff, and toilets and things like that. Just a kind of resort-ish hotel area, which I think looks quite nice. Here we have a plain hadrosaur habitat for some Centaurosaurus. You may notice going forward, a lot of the dinosaurs in the park are green. With the new skin system, I always end up choosing the skin which I think looks best, and I like the color green, and I always end up choosing it. So most of my dinosaurs are green, and then I looked at it and I'm like, oh god, these animals need a lot more color diversity. I can't just make them all green. So in the other Sandbox park I've been building, there's definitely a lot more diversity in dinosaur colors there. But yeah, Centaurosaurus in this nice little dried riverbed kind of thing. Not really a dry riverbed, still plenty of water in there, but you know, a riverbed kind of vibe. And on the left here we have a much more secure kind of enclosure, and this is for a pair of Acrocanthosaurus. So here we have the two of them. I think the Acrocanthosaurus has gone through a major improvement from the first game, and they only really had to do one thing, and that is to straighten the back out. So in the previous game, Acrocanthosaurus stood kind of like a kangaroo, with its back kind of facing upwards and its head being at a higher point. Here, the entire spine is kind of like parallel to the ground, which just makes it look a million times better. What are you doing back here? But yeah, otherwise, now it's a really great theropod. It does lack a few of the things which make Acrocanthosaurus a bit more unique. Like, the spine is really not super clearly defined, and the head is a bit too Tyrannosaur-like, but I still really like it. I think it looks great, and with the posture change, it has kind of gone back to being one of my favorite theropods in the game. This one's asleep, very cutely. And the skins work really well too on this. Acrocanthosaurus was always one of the more vivid giant theropods in the previous game, and it retains that here, and it looks fantastic. Moving over here, we ended up at the Lagoon area. So in the Lagoon we have, I believe, Attenborosaurus and Ichthyosaurus here. So we've got a few Attenborosaurus, a few Ichthyosaurus. And they're never close to this thing, but let's have a look in the viewing gallery anyways. Okay, you can see some of them. You can see some of the fish too. You can see the Attenborosaurus in the distance. Of course, we'll go in and look at them a bit closer, but I quite like that. It's kind of spooky. See the Ichthyosaurus too. I really am looking forward to getting more Ichthyosaurs. Of course, the new DLC is coming out soon, and I'm very excited for that because we're getting a Chronosaurus in there, and it looks really good. Actually, if we look here, this Attenborosaurus is going to go right past this, if I'm not mistaken. So just gonna fast forward it a little bit until it gets right up to the edge, and then oh come on, are you turning around now? Well, let's see it through this anyways. Can you see it?
And gentlemen, prepare to be amazed.
Are you gonna come out this end? It's really far away. We tried. Let's have a look at it up close now. Could have done this the whole time, but easily my favorite animal in the game. No two questions about it. Not one question about it. This is the most beautifully designed, most realistic, and just best animal in the game. I don't know what could change that. It is beautiful. It is just like more, or I would like to see more of this kind of design work in the game. That is fantastic. It doesn't need all extra ornamentation like the Elastosaurus and stuff, which I don't mind. It's dinosaur threat. We'll deal with it later. But it doesn't need a lot of extra stuff. It's simple design, but it is really, really beautiful. The skins are great, and yeah, I love how it moves and everything. It's so elegant. It embodies everything I think a lot of these larger creatures really show. Both that kind of menacingness or intimidation factor, I guess, while not sacrificing the elegance, the beauty, the majesty of these creatures. And this one specifically really does kind of take it home and does it really well. So Attenborosaurus, fantastic. We also have Ichthyosaurus in here, which are really growing on me. I think they're very cute in a really funny way. They kind of got these like faces where it looks almost like they've like committed some mischief and they're just like grinning about it. But I think they're super cute, and they're really growing on me as kind of like an ambient animal almost to have in whatever marine reptile you put in here. You can have an Ichthyosaur. And so far I haven't had problems with the bigger reptiles eating these guys, so I put this Ichthyosaur in with like Tyrannosaurus, Mosasaurs, and while I know that they can be eaten by those, I think if you keep the food stocked for the bigger animals, like if you have a shark feeder for the Mosasaurus and enough fish feeders, you should be able to avoid your Ichthyosaurs getting eaten. So I've managed to do that somehow, so fingers crossed it stays that way. Yeah, another hotel area in the back here. It's just very chill, some lights and some tables and chairs and things like that. And going further, we also have an attraction over here. And we come to our really kind of like star of the show kind of place. So this area has a lot of our big kind of iconic theropods. 2 of them anyways. So in this one you can tell it's a big lake with a lot of these. I love the leafy climber thing, by the way, because it gives you all these cool logs like that just kind of show up here. And I put them by the water all the time because it looks really good. Like look at all these logs, so cool. But yeah, big lake with fish feeders. It can only be one animal. Oh no. Oh, okay. I was really worried that was the dinosaur threat, that the Spinosaurus escaped. But no, there's a Spinosaurus sleeping happily under this tree. Which is very cute. I'm going to fast forward so that he'll wake up. Or she'll wake up at some point. Wow, this is fast forwarding a while and you're still fast asleep. There were 2 in here, and then this one just completely obliterated the other one. I'm looking forward to this new update coming soon because we'll be able to turn off dinosaur combat in Sandbox, which is a very, very important feature for Sandbox. So I'm glad they're reintroducing it. don't know why it wasn't there in the first place. Maybe they just had to work out some bugs or something, so. But yeah, loving the new skin system because it gives us some amazing ones for Spinosaurus. Are you going right back to sleep? No, you're just having to sit down. Spinosaurus, always one of the best theropods. So moving on to our other... Where's this dinosaur? Okay, this is going to bother me. Where's the dinosaur? How did you... Okay, we'll go to the aviary in a bit. But in this one, in a much more sandy, open habitat, we have a Tyrannosaurus Rex. We have a Tyrannosaurus... There he is, hiding behind the tree. You're going to come out into the open? Nope, you're going to sit next to the tree. You can see it's quite scarred. Again, I tried to have 2 T-Rexes, but they, yeah, one just completely decimated the other one. Again, you may have noticed a lot of green dinosaurs. I have since resolved my issues with using any other color, and in my other sandbox park you will see a lot more color. But yeah, cool T-Rex, hiding, chilling, it's all good. And finally over here we actually have a small herd of Triceratops, because I really wanted to include them. And I really like how the Triceratops looks in this game. Oh gosh, another green dinosaur. How surprising. But yeah, the detail they really put into this. Like on the frill especially, with all these little speckly bits, with like the bright turquoise amongst this like mossy green and stuff. Really nice. And this is slightly more saturated green on this one. Also looks great. How many are there in here? I think there's only 3 or 4. So yeah, relatively chill habitat here. Here's the control center over here with all my control things. This is just a hatchery habitat. We don't really need this. We can of course airlift them from here, but I like seeing the exit animations from the hatchery, so I left that as is. What lives in here? Ceratosaurus. Yep, that's what we got. Again, a really nice theropod that changed a lot from the first game just by having the spine straightened out, so it's no longer angled upwards a little bit. And the hands as well look really good, so it's improved a lot I think, just by those small changes, and it looks stunning for it. Now, if I'm not mistaken, we haven't gone to check out the aviary, but if I'm not mistaken we had an escaped pterosaur somewhere. And I still don't know how this happens, and this happens a lot to me, like whenever I'm building sandbox parks, pterosaurs escape all the time, and I don't know how. So let's have a look at this one. Where's he going? So that's Geosternberg, yeah, probably my favorite pterosaur. Marodactylus is a surprise favorite for me too, I really like that. But where is this guy going? Are you going to attack someone? Oh, you're just going to perch on this light. That's pretty cool. I love how they do that, by the way. It's a really cool feature. But also this can make it super easy for this guy to tranquilize you. That's just... How does this happen? So we'll go in there in a second and check out the... Oh no, there's another one. How do they do this? How do they escape? Well, let's get this guy shipped over once he's tranquilized. Are you being tranquilized or are you just asleep? Oh, no, you're moving. Are you gonna be? Oh, okay, there we go. Oh, poor thing. Okay, you're going to the aviary. Who else is... You? How do you get out? What? There's not a single broken fence or anything. How on earth did this Triceratops just... What? Can they just walk out of the gate or something? Hold on, I don't think this habitat even... No, the gate's over there, yeah. Yeah, I need to stop with the green dinosaurs. There's just too much green. I mean, I love green, but that's too much green. Okay, I'm gonna have to get you tranquilized too. How on earth did you get out? Okay. That's fine. Moving on. While he's being tranquilized, let's have a look in the aviary. So this is the big aviary, not the tiny one over there. And this has another bunch of flying reptiles I really like, a bunch of pterosaurs, Geosternbergia, and not a green one. Fantastic. It looks really good here, I think. I really like it. It's from the deluxe edition and is one of my, probably my favorite pterosaur. Marodactylus is another one which I really like, but that was quite unexpected. I also have a Tropiognathus here. I'm not a big fan of this skin, but and also just in general, I feel like they could have done a little bit more with the Tropiognathus. But otherwise, still think it's pretty cool. I would like some more diversity in pterosaur sizes. We don't have any really small or really big ones. Some as dark hits like Quetzalcoatlus, which I think will probably make it in eventually, would be cool. Smaller ones like Vampirhynchus, Tyrannosaurus, you know, a Neurognathid, you know, things like that would be great. They might be too small, but then we have the Compsognathus, so like there are size differences. Like these are some of the bigger ones, and then you have Tapejara and Dimorphodon is the smaller ones, but you know, you could go a lot more out there with the size diversity. But yeah, that is it for Jurassic Park San Diego. Let's see where that Triceratops ended up. Not here apparently. Where did he go? Oh, just over here. Yep, just walk past the oh no, they're running away as soon as they see it. I mean, fair enough. It's Jurassic Park, you gotta be careful, you know. But yeah, that is it for Jurassic Park San Diego. I hope you enjoyed that quick tour. Just because this was a test park and stuff, I was just hoping, you know, we'll have a look through and see what can be done with the game. But I'm not going to do any cinematics or anything for this one because, again, it was very much a test. Not really my best work. By any means, it was very much just an exploration of what can be done here. The next park is going to be a recreation of Jurassic World 2015 in kind of my own style. So it's not an accurate recreation, but it's more like what I would have done in terms of like architecture layouts and species and stuff. It's just more like my version of Jurassic World 2015. So look out for that next. Of course, I didn't end up playing Chaos Theory or anything like that. So let me know if you would like to see a version of that in the future, if you want me to revisit it or anything like that. Do leave a comment down below. Tell me what you thought of this park. We've got a lot coming this month, and I'm just a little bit like, oh my god, I gotta make videos on all these things. But I think to keep myself sane, I'm just gonna make videos kind of when I feel like it, because gosh, there's so much content. Planet Zoo's got a new DLC coming out. Like Jurassic World's new DLC is gonna drop like in 2 days. Prehistoric Kingdoms beta has just come out, and I've just started looking into that. Like, there's a lot of stuff. And on top of that, I just randomly started playing Pokemon like Brilliant Diamond on my Switch, and I got way obsessed with that. Like, I've been playing that non-stop for, like, I'm pretty sure I beat most of the game in about 3 days. So, you know, it's one of those things where you just get stuck in it. But yeah, that's me rambling enough for today. So, thanks so much for watching. Thanks as always for all your support. I do hope you enjoyed this video. Do look forward to more videos, of course. Do leave a like if you did like this video. And of course, do subscribe for more Jurassic World Evolution 2 content. With all being said, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!